Hey, what's up, Morphe babes? It's LipstickNick, and today I'm so excited to be able to play with this brand new palette called the 35C Everyday Chic. So this palette is a really fun twist on an everyday neutral palette. There's some really fun wildcard colors in there like lavenders and emeralds. The second I saw this palette, I immediately thought of my birthstone, which is Alexandrite. I was born in June, so the stone actually comes in lavender or green, and these greens in this palette were just calling my name. So if you guys want to watch how I created this emerald green smoky eye, then keep on watching. So I already have on a full base. I used my Fluidity foundation and my Fluidity concealer. I'm just taking a little bit of loose powder to catch any fallout because I am gonna be working with these really rich, deep green tones, and I just don't wanna risk it messing up any of my foundation. So I'm gonna keep this here as a placeholder. It's gonna catch anything that I don't want on my face. For my base, I'm gonna be using the Fluidity concealer with a little synthetic brush, and I'm just gonna apply a sheer layer all over my lid. I'm mostly excited to play with this palette for those greens and those rich like jewel tones that are in here. There's some really pretty lavenders. So it's kind of like a fun mix on your everyday look, but kind of maybe pushing it a little bit further. So I definitely want to be playing with these greens down here. I think I'll maybe incorporate this color. It kind of looks like a greenish brown. So I'm gonna use that first in my crease, start building some color right away. First, I'm gonna grab a flat brush, something like this, little packer paw. If you guys have watched any of my videos before, you know that I like to use a little flat packer. And I'm going to take this matte bone color right up here, and that's gonna set my brow bone highlight. So I'm gonna pack that right underneath. It's gonna brighten and lift and be a nice starting point for me to start blending right below it. Next, I'm gonna take a M505, any sort of big fluffy blender, and go right in my crease with that kind of greeny olive toned brown. It's like a tan, but it does have like that olive in it. So I think it'll tie in nicely with all those greens and emeralds. I'm gonna switch to a slightly smaller brush and go in with this emerald green, which I'm super, super excited about. This one reminds me the most of my birthstone, the Alexandrite, so very excited, but it is matte. So I'm gonna build a little bit more depth in the crease, and I'm thinking of doing almost like a halo eye, so it'll be like light on the middle and dark on the outer corners. I'm gonna smoke out my lower lash line next, and I'm gonna use the pencil called Locket, which is one of our color pencils. You can use it on your lips or your eyes. I'm gonna take this and line my entire waterline first, and then I'm gonna bring this really pretty emerald tone all down on this lower lash line. And I usually don't smoke things out with frosty shadows, but this one is like calling my name, so I really wanna kind of switch it up and do something that's different for me. So I'm gonna kind of take this pencil down a little bit further than I normally would and buff that out with a little buffer brush. Something like the M321. Smoke this out, and then I'll pack on the shadow right on top. Now I'm gonna take that shimmering emerald shade that was right above the matte color that I used in my outer corner, and I'm gonna take this right on my lower lash line and pack it right on top of the Locket pencil to bring a little bit of that like shimmer, metallic, and emerald feel right underneath my waterline. I'm loving the way this is looking, and I want to incorporate another shade of green that's in here, which is this one over here. It's super fun. It's almost like a greeny silver, kind of like a silver gold. I don't know, it's such an interesting color. So I think I'm gonna take that and use that as my highlight in the center of my lid. And I'm gonna use a 153 brush to do that, another little packer paw. That's very pretty. I'm loving the way that looks in the center. I do want to add a little something in the inner corners, but I don't want it to be as bright as this color. So there's this other green in here that I think would be really pretty. It's all the way over here in the far left, but it's just more of like a khaki kind of frosty green. It looks like there's a little bit of a glitter fleck in there. So I'm gonna take a little tiny bullet crease brush like the E36, and I'm gonna take a little bit of that color and put it right in my inner corner of my eye. And this should tie everything together. So for this look, I don't want to do a gel liner, but I do want to add a little bit more definition all along my lash line. So I'm going to take a larger angled brush. This is the M165, and I'm going to take this shade right here in the lower right-hand corner. It is kind of a frosty, metallic, dark, looks black, but it kind of has like this charcoal kind of vibe to it. So I'm going to take a little bit of that and just lightly define my lash line so that it can help hide the line for my lashes. All right, that's gonna do it for my eye look. I'm gonna sweep away all of this powder that helped catch any fallout, which I hardly really had any, which was great. Just sometimes with those really pigmented matte shades, like that green, that emerald green I first used, but I really didn't get any. So I'm gonna just clean this up and then add some lashes, and I will be right back. All right guys, I am back. I did my lips and my lashes. The lashes I wanna talk to you guys about because being that this is the Everyday Chic eyeshadow palette, these have been my new everyday style of lash. The style is called Hypnotic, and I actually double stacked them today, but they're super natural. One set is like all I need to look like my lashes, but a little bit enhanced. So obviously I did a little smoky eye, so I wanted to kind of kick it up a notch with the volume. So I double stacked some Hypnotics on my eyes, and on my lips I used the Sweetheart lip pencil with Boy Toy Mega Matte lipstick, one of my favorite combos. Just took it super old school, classic nude lip. But I do want to do a little bit of setting spray and a little bit of highlighter, and then I'll be fully complete with this look. I'm gonna use the OG Continuous Setting Mist, which is my fave. So my current favorite obsession as far as highlighter goes is the Coke collab. We had these individual highlighters that came in 3 different shades, and I'm gonna be using the lightest one called Bubbly Babe. And to apply it, I'm gonna use a new brush for us that's launching with our Morphe 2 collection. So this one is the universal highlighting brush. So I love the shape of it. It actually is kind of tapered and pinched, so you can kind of really build and pack on your highlight or get like a really nice light wash if that's what you want. So I'm just gonna do a really nice like sheen of this loose highlighter, and I'm just gonna go right on my cheekbone, bring it down a little to my apple. Oof, that's so pretty. Really into loose highlighters at the moment. And I'm gonna keep this sheen just on my cheeks. I don't think I'm actually gonna bring any onto my nose or my forehead. I don't wanna look too dewy, but I do wanna have that glow when the light hits my cheeks. All right guys, I hope you enjoyed this Alexandrite birthstone makeup look using the 35C palette. I hope this inspires you to put a fun jewel tone twist on your own everyday makeup using this palette. Make sure you guys hashtag MORPHEBABE so we can see all of your beautiful looks, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.